Hey, what's up? It's DJ. Here's your new mods for Thursday, August 21st. We've got 42 mods to take a look at, then they are all new for all platforms. Definitely check those timestamps to see what you want to see first. Let's start them off today with the Case IH Axial-Flow 9250 pack from Hispanomate. That is right. We've got another conversion, but I am in love with this combine harvester. You may remember the 9250. This was base game in previous games, and it is here. We got 634 horsepower. We've got a 14,400 liter capacity. However, we have a second option for 100,000 liters, which makes this awesome. You could go with the Case. You can have a little bit of an unrealistic capacity. Maybe you got a big field. This will be great. It looks exactly the same, nothing wild and crazy. Wheel brands from Trelleborg, Michelin, Continental, Midas, BKT, and Vudestein, and we have all of the wheel options on here. So you've got nice, kind of more narrow-ish twin wheels, you got chunky twin wheels, a standard set of wheels, wide tires, and even that old crawler track look, which is cool. But it does have 3D tracks on it, which is awesome. I don't know if I've ever seen that with 3D tracks before. That's pretty sweet. Window tinting, we've got between 0 and 100%. So that's about 99.9 right there for sure. Capacity, we've already talked about. Main color option, this is kind of interesting because you could change up the color. So if you wanted to go with a black Case combine, this is the way to do it. We've got our design right here. It's going to kind of be all of the metal and plastic bits all the way around. So maybe just keep that black for now. I think that looks better that way. Seat color, obviously we could change this up, but you know what? We're sticking with an all blacked out look here. And lastly, rim colors are rim colors at the end of the day. Yep. Oh yeah, and the rear view mirror. Forgot to mention this. You can change those as well. Kind of look silly red, so we'll go back to black. Now, as we mentioned, this is a pack. So yes, we have multiple stuff in here as well. We've got a 12.5 meter header. This could be either Case or New Holland, so you can change that up, which is great news. Obviously, in game, they're the same model, and we can even change it up to the yellow if you wanted to go with that New Holland set. Just take that, make the tire or the wheels white. Boom. Now it's the New Holland. But exit back out. Bam. Case. Or you can change it all black. Now, this is where I think it gets really interesting because we've got the 45 foot or 13.7 meter draper head, which is really cool. This is Case or New Holland as well, and we could change all the colors here too. I'm going to go with a full blackout look just because I think it looks awesome. This design right here, we changed that. You see, this is a metal and plastic bits. Better left black through there. Design color through here, we'll change it up to be red. Little tips on the ends. We'll keep those as black there. And then rim colors, of course. All of that. We got to get ourselves one of those. But that's not all. We also have this guy. Now, you may say, don't we already have that base game? No, we have the N60 in a 35 and a 45, but not in a 40-foot version. So this makes things nice and easy. With the other one, you've got spare wheels, which could be added onto it, main design, fenders, and rim colors, which is great news. Now, here is our setup. Absolutely loving it. 100,000 liter capacity out here. Let's go, man. Of course, everything's going to be the same as to what you would see. We've got the spout, which can be adjusted, which is very cool. I love it, man. This has always been one of my favorite combines, the fact that we've got a moddable one. Let's go. You know what's interesting as well? I just started a new save on Alma, Missouri last night, just playing around on my own. And I have to unload the combine like every 2 minutes because it fills up. I think this would be a great option for that. Now, unlike some of the other crazy modded stuff, we're not going to be going any faster with this, so heads up through there. If you want to go faster, you can always go and download the Colossus and throw that header pack on there. Or if you wanted to download something else, like Tool High Control for Harvesters, you could do that, but that may not all be from the same pack or anything like that. Just running some oats here, nothing too wild and crazy. One thing I am interested in is going to be the combine. Sometimes people forget to make it where it's not super duper heavy. So let's see. Update mass equals false. Hispanomate does it again. There you go. There's 100,000 liters. Now I guess the only other question is going to be, how long does it take for this to unload? That's another question, especially with big combines like this. I think somebody forgot to speed up the the spout a little bit. you're going to be sitting around for a while. The only other new vehicle that we got today is the John Deere 7760 CP690 roller pickers. This is from Jolly Farms Modding and makes some really interesting stuff, and we've got another one from them today. So first up, we have the module colors of the wrap. We've got a yellow color, pink, you might be able to see it in the back of the harvester there, green as well, orange, and blue. Now they have said with these new colors, the wrap is also now a little bit more transparent so that the cotton can actually be seen through it. That is pretty sweet. That is awesome. And they say you could change up that color anytime in the store. Of course, it's a customization option. Engines from 500 up to 560. Wheels from Continental Trelleborg, and that is it. We do have a Starfire 3000 and 6000 receivers. Window tinting all around. And we've got numbers of 1 through 9 on the side. They also say that they have reduced the working width slightly to encourage the machine to pick up a proper 6 rows, not the 8 the one from the base game does. So very cool. All right, so that's all of your vehicles. Now let's jump into tools. And we've got the Köckerling Jockey 600 from the ARM team. This is a direct drill seeder, no fertilizer. So this is like my style right here. I love it. I wish more things were direct drill with no fertilizer. This holds 2,800 liters of seed, 160 horsepower is required, 6 meters at 11 miles an hour. We got a couple different wheel brands for you, and then we've got colors. So this is interesting. We have all the colors of the rainbow. So if you wanted to kind of go with a full blackout farm, which I think is kind of a neat look, you can actually do that. Ooh, let's change that to red just for fun. Yeah. All right. And then that there. Yeet! Next up, we have the Pöttinger Terrasem C6F, another Espino modding mod. So this one is a direct drill as well. However, we got seed and fertilizer with this one. The first setup is going to be a 1,600 liters of seed and 2,400 fertilizer. We've also got a flip-flop of that number. You can also do just seeds, 4,000, which is nice. And then you've got 200,000 seed, 200,000 fertilizer. Yikes, that's a bunch going on right there. Ridge markers can be taken off. I appreciate that. And then we've got main, design, cover, hoses, and rims. What is our design color? Just curious here. It's all those metal bits in the front and for some reason part of the warning sign. So there you go. There's your Pöttinger Terrasem C6F. Another one from the ARM team, we have the Hesston Balers. These are back. They only make 240 centimeter square bales. Only. That's the only one they make. Which is insane. We've got brands of Massey Ferguson on there, New Holland, and Fendt. It's a couple things through there, multiple different wheel brands to choose from, which is nice. Warning signs, and then the square bale twine, which can be added, and then you can add more later on. Big balers, baby. 190 horsepower required. Not too shabby. From AgWorks Design Austria, the Pöttinger NOVAALPIN pack. We've got a couple different setups through these, including branding of AB or Pöttinger. We also have attacher types of attacher A or B, and then attacher T. So you can choose which you want, if you want the tractor triangle setup or if you want the regular 3-point. These are available in a 2.2, 2.6, and 3-meter version. Also from ADA, we have their Pöttinger TOP Pack. Then we've got a protective sleeve which can be added or taken away on the centerpiece there. And then we've got a design color here which can be changed up. I think it looks better in yellow. There's 2 of these as well. You've got a 2.8 and 3.4 version. More from the ARM team, you say? Well, sure, we got you. The Rolland RP LCH Trailers. We've got a little bit of a shorter one and a little bit of a longer one. I think about 9 and 10 meters respectively. At least I would make that assumption from how long they are. So configurations, you've got standard and with auto load. If you go with auto load, we also have a few options on the left-hand side that change. For example, design 1 and ladder flip-flop. So there's that. So if you see stuff moving, that's that. We're going to go with auto load because I think quite a few people, at least watching this video, would go for an auto load setup. So I will as well. Multiple different wheel brands to choose from, as well as being able to add a double axle in the very back. We've got with and without mud guards, a ladder. So you ladder, that's basically just a front stopper right there. And then we've got color options. The main, that yellow, and rims. Rim colors got all of them, so you're good to go there. Jump over, we'll take a look at the larger version, and it looks like we're going to be seeing exactly the same setup here. It does appear that these will do some pretty insane bales between 125 and 238 centimeter round bales on here, and between 78 and 488 centimeter square bales. So we've got quite a bit. That's going to be capacities for different size square bales all the way up to a cotton bale. And they even will hold the Hesston Balers as well. And if you get a little curious to find out exactly what they will hold, well, on the Mod Hub website or in the mod description, they have a full setup here of every single thing each trailer will hold. So you can check those out. Again, they do hold those Hesston Balers, just saying. There's another returner, the Case IH Ecolo-Til 2500. Oh, yeah. So this is a plow. 300 horsepower is required for it. 8.5 meter working with at 7 miles an hour. I can't remember, was it Farm Sim 17 or 19 that this came out? I know it was quite popular back then, and I'm really happy to see it coming back now. You've either got an extension set up here so you can pull it behind the tractor, or you could just hook it up via the 3-point behind there. It's not crazy heavy, 2.9 tons, so I think if you got a 300 horsepower tractor, you'd probably be okay. Throw a front weight on there and you're good. We've got 2 different setups for red, a lighter one and a darker one, and then we've got a couple different colors for the rim colors. We kind of make it look a little bit older. Ooh, yo, cream, make it a little darker. Yeah, that looks great. Next one's John Deere Tillage Disc 2660 VT 33 footer, aka 10.3 meters. 355 horsepower is required at 12 miles an hour for this shallow cultivator. It is from LR Modding. They do a lot of John Deere stuff, and most of the time it takes a little while for their mods to get onto the mod hub. They post a lot, but we don't share a lot of what they're doing on Farm Sim News, just because I never really know when and where it's going to happen. So stuff's kind of always up in the air. If you'd like to see more, you can let me know, and I'm happy to share what they're up to. I always check on them, but you never know. Nonetheless, this one's out now, and it is a very, very nice mod. That is one thing about LR Modding. Everything they do is impeccable. Almost perfect. Next up, the Strautmann PS 3401. This is a manure and lime spreader, which is very, very neat. 34,300 liter capacity or 300,000 liters. That may be very, very useful to you. A couple different wheel brands to choose from, which is nice. And we've got color options for your green, the red on there, and rim colors. Got a 24 meter working width, by the way, as well. That's at 11 miles per hour. Another Agro Design Austria mod. We have the Göweil equipment pack. So we got a couple different bits and bobs through here. We've got a round bell grab. We got a square bell grab. You've also got a bell shredder. I'm assuming this is a shredder. There's a missing function on there, but usually these pieces right here will grab your bells and shred them up. So that is nice. And then we've got another round bell holder. As far as these go, we've got a Euro attach. You've also got a 3-point on there, or you could do Euro and 3-point. So that is cool. I believe Euro is going to be your front loader setup. We can also change up the color, but it looks weird to have Göweil in any other color other than our blue. So we'll just leave it in the blue. So yeah, after a little bit of research, this bad boy right here, you can put a bell on it and it will shred the bell up. And if you put a foil holder on there, which comes on by standard, it will do it even faster. Last one we're going to take a look at it in the store is the portable Combination IBC. So this combo tank is available with diesel, digestate, herbicide, liquid fertilizer, slurry, and silage additive, as well as water. These are pretty sweet, and they do say that it comes in a bulk discount, which is very, very nice. Pricing is going to kind of be a little bit all over the place, so let's find something that is easy to find the price of. Here is let's see, herbicide, liquid fertilizer. Yeah, both of those are $5,700 for 4,000 liters. So that's going to be costing about $701 per 1,000 liters, somewhere around there. So we could see here, these are definitely different. It's also interesting seeing that the liquid fertilizer and herbicide is different prices. I'm confused. Why are these? Oh, whatever. Well, nonetheless, they are cheaper to buy in the new ones, which is very cool. Now we get into placeables. We've got a couple of them to show off in the game before we jump over to our maps. First is the American Midwest Woods Shed from ICAS. Now, we have shown this off before. We showed it off with the Man Cave. The Man Cave is not out yet, but this is out. I believe the Man Cave had 1 or 2 things that needed to be set up. So we've got doors open everywhere on both sides. We've got a couple setups here. So Obviously, we have the doors. These are going to turn on and off with your B button or circle, whichever one you're using on your consoles through there. We do have a bunch of different stuff in here. First off, let's turn on the lights so we can actually see. So we'll just start from the inside left. You got a pressure washer, which doesn't make a lot of noise. Very thankful for that. We've got a way to turn on and off the flag, which kind of goes whoop, 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 woo. And then you've got a bit here where you could change up whether you want the American or the Canadian flag. So you've got that. You got Case and John Deere on the wall at the same time. I don't think a lot of people are going to like that, though we've been pretty case heavy on this video. So sorry, JD boys. We show you guys enough love as it is. This is also a workshop, so you can work on your vehicles inside. We have an upstairs. Now, as far as I know, there's only one thing we can do with the upstairs. You got 3 chainsaws to brush and 2 places for paint. So we do have a place where you can use stuff through there. And in here, we've got a small little parking spot, almost. So this does have a light inside, quite a bright light as well. We got a man door, and we've got a smaller door, so you can pull in a ATV, a car, skid steer, anything really. Good to go. And then we've got another spot over here, another dry area just for whatever. If you want to park a seeder in there, combine harvester with a header, whatever, you should have enough space for most things through there. And that is kind of it, honestly. Oh yeah, and there's one other button on the outside which flips the colors. So when you buy it, the color is going to be the side, and then the top and the bottom are going to be white. However, here, whee, you see top, bottom's white with the center being red, and then we do it again, and now the top and the bottom are red. I'm not a big fan of that. We'll go back to this color right here. But nonetheless, there you go, spinning it around towards the back. Not a whole lot to do back there, just 2 doors, and that is it. Also, you may look at this and be like, oh, I'm just going to put 2 of those back to back. The roof really doesn't line up well for that. Can you do it? Absolutely, but the roof's going to look a little bit weird. Now, a lot of the time I don't show off silos just because, most of the time they are what they are, especially when we have a mod day of 39 mods with 2 huge maps. But I got to show you at least one of the ones that came out today. This is the ZAV-20. It doesn't hold a lot, 130,000 liters. It is $141,000, so price per money, not great. But one of the cool things is we've got a lot of animations here. So this is where you're going to back up. And whenever you come up here, we've got a trigger button. Now, I'm going to cut on my help window, and we've got raise these stop supports. So I'm going to raise those up. By the way, they are up by default. So we raise those up. And then down here, we've got a button to raise the ramp. And what this does is it's, I guess, for vehicles that don't have a tipping function. And this tips them for themselves. So you got a place to stop where everything is on the back, and then the tip function through there, which I just find incredibly awesome. There are no sound effects with this. That's the only weird thing is, like, it's eerily creepy, like watching that and not hearing like, like my voice, for example. But if you didn't need to use the tipping function, you can easily put that down, boop, back up to it, good to go, that type of thing. Now here's where you're going to get stuff out, and there are 2 places to get stuff out. Both of them have a trigger. You can see that one just popped up, and it opens up the top just like so. Even the handles move. There's another one here too. Look at this. Boom, 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 boom. You move all of those bits and bobs, just like so. It opens up and your trigger reappears. That's just awesome. Not only that, it's available in versions that are to the left and to the right. Hey, what'd you think about that? All right, so now we talk about maps, and I want to get this out of the way right off the bat because it's what my Discord's been talking about all morning this morning, and that is required mods. Pfaffenwinkel and Hagenstedt both feature 2 different modders who have made the maps and then, quote-unquote, made the buildings for the maps, and then they made those buildings required mods, and then made you download those mods. Am I stuck outside the map again? Crap. This keeps happening to me on this map. I don't know what's going on. So therefore, you have to download a pile of mods which are required just because they're on this map. And that sucks. I hate it so much. I'm not going to play on these maps anyway, but it doesn't matter. There's people that want to, download them and check them out and maybe don't have enough space or any of this. Hey, just make the mods on the map. Just put it there. you'll get your downloads anyway. Was it Pfaffenwinkel had an issue where 3 of the mods that were required weren't even on the mod hub yet. So it got downvote bombed hard this morning. So there's that. And Hagenstedt, it doesn't look like many people are playing it. So it just is what it is. 2 instances where required mods shot both of them right in the foot. Just knock it off. It's a great way to have a great map. No required mods. Nonetheless, should we talk about facts? Let's talk about facts for a moment. This is a Bavarian map. It is a fantasy map, meaning it is not real. They do say the map is ideal for multiplayer, 4 farms around, and we can actually see where those are. We've got 99 here, which we own, 97 or 87 there, 101, and way up here with 109. Very cool. Very, very cool indeed. We got some multicolors around here. If you don't know what these mean, green means you can delete them. Red means you can't touch them, so there's no reason to have it there to begin with. And yellow is going to be special stuff around, purchase points. And pink is going to be things like your warehouse or things like the animal dealer, that type of thing. A couple more showcases of them over here. We've got the old mill there, and then we have the farmer's market. So like sell points, purchase points, bits like that. Blue, obviously, is going to be your production, so they've kind of lined up everything to match up with the things that we have in the base game, which is nice. Kind of neat. A very beautiful map. I'll give them that much. It's just very, very cool. I'm loving the undulation. I love the use of retaining walls. That's fantastic. It's one feature that I think a lot of people forget is retaining walls. I do it all the time on the Sims and stuff like that. I forget to use them. So it's great that they have done that. The farmlands themselves and the farms aren't too tight. You're able to maneuver and get in and out, which I'm very, very thankful for. And they're not all square. They're a little bit of triangles. We've got some acute and obtuse angles kind of going into corners, which is nice. Right angle here or there, but nothing too wild and crazy. And then we have a very interesting cattle pen right here. It's just neat. I think it looks very cool. It's given me some, I can't remember what the map is. There was a map that I played in Farms of 19. Loved it. I'll have to go back and see if I can find it, but it reminded me a lot of this map. Of course, we talked about the PDA here, lands that we own, farmland number 5, 33, and of course, the main farm of 99, which we've been taking a look at here this whole time. If we pop down, take a look at our crop calendar, looking pretty good there. Pretty normal stuff across the board. No new crops been added with this. We do have that cow barn, and we've got 10 cows in there. Contracts, decent amount of contracts, decent amount of money, not too shabby through there. We do have one production that we own, the fermenter TMR, and then we've got quite a few other productions here too. And then last but certainly not least, we have the vehicles that we get. And we've got a nice cultivator, seeders, bits and bobs to do some work around the farm. We're about halfway through them right now. So there's a bunch through there. There you go. As always, I do like to show you the required mods. So here those are. One of the mods was not created by Bernie. However, the other 4 were. This church has been out for a while now. However, these 3 mods right here, these were made specifically for this map and were released today. They're actually at the very end of the video because I already recorded that part. Here's something interesting I've never seen before, so I'm recording this after I've already made the video and actually was getting ready to release it. I noticed that the Pfaffenwinkel map has now 0 ratings, where before it had between 20 and 30 ratings with an average of around 3.2. It appears that the ratings have been reset. I imagine most of the people had made those ratings before all 5 of the required mods were actually on the mod hub. So now they're there. Maybe it's got a fresh start. And your other new map that came out today with 4 required mods, all from the modder, all that have been made for this map, all that could have been part of this map. Maybe released as separate mods as well, but definitely didn't have to be required mods, is Hagenstedt. It's not gotten a lot of attention. The votes are fairly low on it, all things considered, probably because of the required mods business. Again, nobody wants those, so heads up to the modders. Yeah, also the fact that it's been around Farming Simulator for like 12 or 13 years now. Came out with the base Farming Simulator 13 is what it was known on PC. Farming Simulator, as it was known on consoles, the first console mod or console farming simulator game. And then we've seen mod versions of it for like every single game. Sometimes we've seen 2 versions of it, which has been very interesting. So if you enjoyed Hagenstedt, I have good news. It's back. You've got everything you would expect on here. I didn't play on it a whole lot, so it's a fairly new-ish map to me, even in its current state today. But it's here if you wanted it. Now, we'll talk about the factual information of it. Tons and tons of purchasable plots. So we've got a bunch of small little square fields and one or two larger ones. Very, very Giants 2020 or 2013-esque. As far as crops, no, you don't get any new crops, so don't even go looking for them. And we get farmland way down here. Farmland 104, which is a huge farm. However, we get one field. Field 16, and it is itty bitty teeny tiny. As far as prices go, they're not too bad. So the good thing is now we can have $1 million. So if you wanted to, you could just go buy the biggest field on the map and you're good to go. So that's cool. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention on the previous map that the main farm cost $1 million. It was ridiculous. This one much cheaper. We also have the itty bitty little bit things around here. Get it 40,062.32. A little thing. So everything is purchasable on this map, which is great. Absolutely love that. Good idea there. Here's your crop calendar. Pretty standard through there. We do have a chicken pasture on here. We have one rooster, so at least you'll wake up in the mornings. Here are your the contracts. So we've got those. Weeding contract looks like it's going to be paying out the most right there, $10,000. Not too shabby. As far as production chains, none are owned. We do have the BGA, dairy, and spinnery on the map itself. And if we poke around and take a look at our vehiculars, there is really not a lot going on there. And as per usual, here are your 4 required mods, all mods made for this map and released as required mods. Goodness gracious. Rounding out the vid with some more new placeables for you guys, we have the Lizard Mixed Pig Food Production, Corn Dryer, Liquid Fertilizer Production, Herbicide Production, Big Logistics Center, Cow Pasture with Milking Barn, Hagenstedt Husbandries, Hagenstedt Storages, Swedish Grain Storage, Old Stone Silo, Old Well, Cargo Hall, Barn with Grain Loft, Hagenstedt Sheds, Metal Shed, Corrugated Iron Hall, Bavarian Farmhouse, Hagenstedt Houses, Farmhouse, Old Polish House, Plant Decoration Pack, and the GDR Street Light. Well, and apparently there were 3 late additions as well. I'm actually recording this part before I record the maps, and I think these were required mods for the map that nobody could get on and play it. So, hey, if you were curious, there you go. We've got the Manor Farm, Schofelding, Ingelmeyer Farm, and Bavarian House Pack. So that brings our total, I think, today to 42. Goodness gracious. And that's it. That is all the mods for today. Hope you enjoyed this one. Drop a like if you did. Get subscribed if you new. Enjoy the DjGoHam fam. Double check those notifications. That way you never miss videos like this one. If you have missed the video earlier today, I promise I won't release any more 3 a.m. videos, at least for another day or two. Can-Am Outlander Pro that's coming with the Highlands Fishing expansion later on this year. That's got tracks like all the way around. It's pretty sweet. Go check it out. Anyway, have an awesome day. We'll see you later.